Did Michael Jackson warn us about Diddy before it was too late? Michael Jackson once warned us. He spoke of devils hiding in plain sight, of powerful figures in the music industry who didn't just want to control artists, but silence them. And he didn't just whisper these warnings into the void. He told someone who saw a side of him the world never got to see. Brooke Shields. Now, with Diddy facing mounting accusations and the music industry being exposed piece by piece, people are asking a dangerous question. Was Michael Jackson trying to tell us something about Diddy? And did we ignore it? Let's get into it. To the world, Brooke Shields was just another famous face from Michael's orbit. But to Michael, she was one of the only people he trusted. Brooke once said, "He was consistent to the end." When her father got sick, Michael was the first to call. When she experienced postpartum depression, he sent flowers. Even though they hadn't kept in touch as much in later years, his presence never wavered. And when he passed, it was Michael's mother, Catherine, who personally called Brooke and asked her to speak at the memorial. That wasn't just nostalgia. That was trust. Michael told Brooke things that weren't meant for the cameras. He described the industry as dark, devilish. He wasn't just being poetic, he was pointing fingers. In public, he called Tommy Mottola, the head of Sony Music, a devilish figure. In private, he told Brooke the same people were cheating black artists out of their catalogs, their legacy, and eventually their lives. He saw what the industry was doing and realized, if he didn't take back control, they'd take him out. Years after MJ's death, something strange started happening. Artists who had once worked under Diddy began to speak out. They claimed they never saw the money they were promised. They said their careers were intentionally stalled. They said the contracts they signed were never in their favor. Now here's where things get dark. Michael saw Diddy rising in power and getting cozy with the very elites MJ was warning us about. The ones who steal, cheat, and silence. Could it be that MJ saw Diddy as part of the machine, just wearing a different face? Here's where things get twisted. Michael's name appeared in connection to Epstein. During a court testimony about Prince Andrew, a witness mentioned meeting MJ at Epstein's residence. No accusations were made against Michael. No charges. Nothing. But the damage? Already done. Was this just another attempt to destroy his credibility at a time when he was speaking out louder than ever? Back in 1993, Michael sat down with Oprah in what became the most watched interview in television history. When asked about dating, he casually mentioned Brooke Shields, but Brooke wasn't thrilled. She later revealed she called Michael and told him off, saying he was dragging her into crazy town. Yet even she admitted they had a deep emotional bond. She talked about a friendship ring he gave her, about moments that felt like love, but weren't romantic. So, what was real? Were they hiding a romance, or was it just easier to let the public believe what it wanted? That Oprah interview was supposed to humanize MJ. Instead, it painted him as evasive and odd. Oprah pressed him on everything: his skin color, surgeries, romantic life. Michael revealed his vitiligo, but Oprah seemed skeptical. Then came questions about his love life, his virginity, and his connection to children. Michael tried to answer with grace, but the damage was done. The public didn't see a man trying to open up. They saw a man being interrogated. Later, Brooke told a story about being pulled in for a kiss by Michael while paparazzi clicked away. She said she stopped him and reminded him they were just friends. But she also admitted they had a crush on each other and that she felt closer to Michael than some of her actual boyfriends. Was Michael using their friendship to escape the pressure of a public romance? Or was he trying to signal something deeper? Maybe even protect her from the chaos around him? One thing Brooke confirmed: Michael was scared. Not just of fame, but of dying. He told her he was being targeted, that owning his catalog made him dangerous, that they wanted it and would do anything to get it. After his death, LaToya Jackson revealed that Michael told her the same thing, that he would be taken out and that it would be made to look like a medical accident. She said Conrad Murray was just the fall guy. The real story? Much darker. Now let's talk Diddy. His 50-50 deal with Warner gave the industry elite a direct stake in his label, Bad Boy Records. He called it the right financial backing. But critics saw something else. A man handing power back to the same machine MJ fought. Michael had warned about labels using artists as pawns. And here was Diddy, signing deals that made him richer, while artists under him were left with nothing. According to rumors, Brooke has been speaking out behind the scenes, saying that Michael never liked Diddy, that he warned her something was off about him. Of course, these claims aren't confirmed, but considering everything Brooke said before and how much Michael confided in her, it wouldn't be a surprise. So if Brooke knew, why didn't anyone listen? This is the uncomfortable part. Some people say Michael's just like Diddy, that the accusations made about him make him no better. But here's the thing. Michael was investigated multiple times. He was never found guilty, and many believe those accusations were planted, designed to destroy him, to distract from what he was really saying. Because if Michael was telling the truth, then the smear campaign makes perfect sense. Prince once wrote "slave" on his face while fighting for his masters. He too warned about the exploitation of black artists. He too died under bizarre circumstances. Sound familiar? Michael, Prince, and now Diddy, all linked by money, control, and accusations. But the difference? Michael spoke out first. And now, everything he said is starting to make sense. After Michael died, most of the music industry stayed quiet. There were tributes, there were memorials, but there were very few questions. Why didn't more people speak up about what MJ had been fighting for? About his warnings? About the people he called out? Maybe they were scared, or maybe they didn't want to admit he was right. Either way, the silence speaks volumes. What if Michael Jackson's biggest legacy wasn't just his music, but the warning he tried to give? Diddy, Sony, control, smear campaigns, artists dying under suspicious circumstances. Everything MJ described is playing out again today. And now the question isn't, was Michael Jackson telling the truth? It's, why didn't we believe him when it mattered most? Maybe Michael was complicated. Maybe he was flawed. But one thing is certain. He was trying to expose something. Whether it was about Diddy, the industry, or the way black artists are treated, he saw it coming. So the real question isn't just whether Michael was telling the truth. It's why nobody believed him. Until now. What do you think? Was MJ warning us about Diddy? Or was he part of the same game? Let me know in the comments.